Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Sue.
I love what you put in the text message. I love that. That was awesome. We had changed so much in the last year.
We have. I just think about that this morning. Yeah. I love what mine ties in with what you were saying too. I mean, we come to the same place, but by different avenues, with different wisdom. But yours is all about, love is the answer. It's, it's what we're here to do. And when I put that, the end of it, I said, and something about forgiveness, and it requires forgiveness. We've got, we can't love without forgiving, because every relationship has something that needs forgiving, and I'm still working on that. I mean, as I said, I'd like to think I was there, but and it's just come to me lately, and it's probably something in what I was listening to and reading that helped me, but that we wouldn't be here if we'd already reached enlightenment. We wouldn't be here if we had actualized into full love, because we have to keep coming back till we get it, And I thought, oh, okay. And I think we've said before that, we want to figure it out in this lifetime. We don't have to do it. I don't want to do it again. But I hadn't pieced the whole thing about, I don't know, somehow it came at a deeper level of, oh, okay, that's why we're back here, because we didn't quite make it last time. Not that we did anything wrong, but we were just on our way, but we just didn't quite gotten all the way there.
That's how I feel too. Yeah. So I don't know. The journey just keeps changing. So I'm grateful for that. And then when I go back into feeling human, I'm back into feeling limited and afraid.
Yep, absolutely.
And angry. And it's like, oh my gosh, I am so human.
We are. And the challenge and the job is to move from body attachment to spirit attachment. And it's hard, because this world, the two worlds, this world we can see and we can feel and we can with all our senses, and the other is not as easy. Why we need the silence, it's why we need the stillness.
Yeah. And other people.
Oh, absolutely, other people.
Need other people. So
and if we think about it, Sue, this is what I think has been coming to me more, is that this is what the journey we're on. But every other person who's here is doing the same thing. I mean, they're here for the same reason, because they haven't, they're having to work out their stuff so they can get to that place of spirit attachment. So, and everybody's doing it differently. And some of them are going to have to come back a few more times, because they're just not getting it. They're not even working on it, or they're not. I'm talking about probably older people. I don't know, but people who've lived a long time and had lots of opportunity to be working on this stuff, but could care less. Like the Trumps of the world. It's not in his consciousness to be working on this.
No, he doesn't have to. He has people handing him money left and right, cheering him on. Why would he work on himself?
Yeah, exactly.
He just wouldn't do it. So I think that's kind of why Some of us have through huge health crises during our lifetime. Hi, Cinda.
Hi, Cinda.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Oh, excuse me for a minute. I just found a animal accident right here. Shoot, I'll be right back. Oh, disgusting. I'll be right back. I
Okay.
almost put my foot in it.
Another reason I don't have an animal.
Yeah. So
I have enough trouble managing my own life.
my daughter's cat comes in every morning and sleeps on my bed until he gets hungry. And so I get the joy of the cats, but I don't have to, I'm not responsible for them. That's pretty nice. Animals have all kinds of, like babies, you just have to take care of them.
Yeah, we have a high maintenance cat that came with issues, and he doesn't go to the bathroom. He goes pee in the litter box, but he doesn't go poop. And so it's like an Easter egg hunt to try to find where he goes to the bathroom every 3 days. And it happened to be under my desk this morning, and my foot went, oh my God. I look for it every morning, and he hadn't gone yet, but he seemed to know I would be up here today.
He's just greeting you.
Just reading me. We're all wearing the same color today.
Yeah, we're all in our blue tones.
So I am feeling really, really neutral. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So it's just a thing. It's just a thing. And so it's like I'm not in motivation or inspiration. I've been working on being in acceptance and surrender. And what I'm finding is a place of neutral. And it's very uncomfortable. There's no judgment in neutral, but I'm not fired up about anything either. So it's a stage, it's a part, it's a phase. This isn't the end all of anything. It's just where I am now. But what Lynn and I were talking about, I hope she comes back, is just getting really clear about why I'm here. And so I was on Coffee Chat Tuesday night, and we ended up kind of talking about that too. And to me, it's removing all my limited beliefs. I hope she hurries up and comes back. Oh, I think that was a phone call I heard in the background. Let's see if she sends a message. So what I want to do is, I'm focusing on removing limiting beliefs because it separates me from my heart. It closes my heart. It causes me to judge. It causes me to have fear. It causes me to be unwilling to forgive. And that's in my way. That's really, really, really in my way. So that's my check-in. And I'm having amazing results with my 9-year-old granddaughter. We've gone shopping twice. And that experience, how I treat her, has changed everything. Because last summer I yelled at her one too many times, and she just shut the door. And so I had to change that. Can't tell her I'm going to change and not back it up. So shopping went really, really well because where do you want to go? What do you want to look at? Let's pick out clothes. Let's try them on. What do you like? What do you love? Let's get what you love. And she feels empowered. She got to make choices. She was heard. She was supported, and I was happy for her. It all went well. That's a total and complete change on my part. It has nothing to do with her. She just happened to get the rewards of my hard work. But it's in the moment. I can't plan it. It doesn't work. I planned it for years. It did not work. I always planned it, arrived at the house, and I was my old self. So in the moment, I have to make the decision to do it different. So that's where I am. And that I'm excited about.
Our actions speak louder than our words, right? It's like an apology doesn't mean squat unless it's backed by change, right? And so you're right. You could say, I'll do better, I'll be different, I'm so sorry. But she's not going to trust it until she actually sees it. And so you prove to her that she was worthy of you making adjustments. You know, and she might not have the maturity to pinpoint exactly what it is, but she has the ability to know how she feels, and she feels better with you now. You know, I want to offer a different insight into your stagnancy, or into your, what did you call it? Your flat line, that's what I call it.
Neutral, yeah.
Neutral is, you know, I have this theory of a ladder of ascension that we're all on. And I probably have talked about it before, but there's this ladder of ascension that when we are born, we sort of like with the spider's web, drop down to the very bottom of our ladder. But we're always connected by that thread to the source that all that is, to the force of life, right? And we spend the rest of our lives climbing this ladder of ascension to get back home, to get back from where we came from. And with each step up that ladder is a different frequency, a higher frequency, a frequency we're not used to. So every time we experience something or do something that is of a higher frequency, that's part of our ascension process. You know, from human to spirit, we swing, because we jump off of that rung on the ladder because it's so unfamiliar. It doesn't feel right. It's not home. It's not comfortable. It's different. And so we jump off, and then we start to swing on that thread. And on one side is regression, and on the other side is progression. On one side is our ego, and on the other side is spirit. And on one side, we're reminded of our past and where we're comfortable. And on the other side is a view of what is potentially available to us. It's sort of like seeing into the future. We have a opportunity to see into our gifts. Well, that swinging on the pendulum, the lower we are on the ladder of ascension, the more the swinging is, because the longer the thread is, right? And the ride can be a pure high or a pure low. I mean, it could be woo, especially when we swing to one side, and it's amazing, and we start to recognize signs, and we start to hear voices, and we start to really recognize our relationship with all that is. Or then we swing over here and we forget how to walk, and we drop things, and we're afraid, and we're fearful. And sometimes we can hang out in either of those places for quite a while. But where we want to be is steady on our own personal ladder. When we are steady on our own personal ladder, we view that as being neutral. We view that as being flatlined. We view that as being boring. We view that as being a lack of inspiration, because we're not swinging. And with all the work that I've witnessed that you've done, Sue, is you are, you know, climbing your ladder of ascension, rather quickly, but the higher that you get, the swinging becomes less and less. So the time between both sides is shorter, because the thread is not as long, right? And the ultimate goal is to get to a place where we're not swinging anymore. The ultimate goal is to have our observation or our experiences to be instantaneous. Like in the moment, we see both, and we don't need to swing. We're not afraid of that higher frequency. But our ego says, but I missed the ride.
Yeah.
I missed the ride because the ride is what tickles my tummy. The ride is what shows me the growth in my, between the two sides of the pendulum swinging on your own personal ladder. But when we have reached the place of, of being neutral, of being flatlined, of being bored, of being, it's because we have settled, we're back on our ladder. We're higher on the ladder than we've ever been, and we've assimilated. We've done the work. Doesn't mean you're done, but for the time being, instead of being, oh crap, what's wrong? It could be oh wow, this is amazing. I've made it. Here I am. I am literally one with God in this moment. I have assimilated all the work that I am doing, and I am neutral in this moment because I am centered on my own ladder of ascension, on the work, on my growth, until something else comes and you start the swing again. But your swinging is not going to be as gigantic as it was when you first started on your spiritual journey. So I understand what it's like to be neutral or lack inspiration, but I would like to say, congratulations, lady, you've made it. You are there. You have centered yourself. You have, you've pulled in. You have recognized, where you are steady in your life right now. It's a remarkable place to be. It's the closest you've ever been to God in this moment, in your neutrality. Think of it that way. And you're on mute, so if you are going to say anything, I can't hear you.
Thank you for that. I'm just going to sit with that.
Good, good.
Sit with that. So let's continue checking in. And I got a lot of background noise because PUD's outside doing something. So I'm just going to go on mute till everybody's done.
We can't hear it. We can't hear it, so it's okay.
Oh, great. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
What about you?
Me, my check-in. I've taken control of my life. So I'm going to turn 60 next week. And there's just a lot of things that keep me up at night that I'm not happy about. And for some reason, I'm really concerned about my physical appearance. I'm more aware of it. So I have been going to this is all so based on vanity and based on what's the word I want to say? It's not very deep. It's not, but it's what's keeping me up at night. I've been going to the same hairdresser for 20 years, and she has really, I'm a Leo, and my hair is my everything. And I am so unhappy with it. And she seems to hear me and gets all excited and then totally, like, what is this black that I have going on in my hair? I don't know. So I finally, she's a little bit of a bully. And so I decided, I'm done. I'm going to take control of my life. And I made an appointment with, this is sort of an interesting story. I have a very good friend. Her name is Francine. Francine has a niece that does her hair that she loves. So I made an appointment with my friend's niece. I made an appointment and then I canceled my existing appointment with my hairdresser that I've had for 20 years. And I told her that I may or may not reschedule, but I didn't give her a reason why. Depends on how well I like this other woman. Okay, so I'm like, oh my God, I did it. I've been wanting to do this for years, and I finally did it. Now the courage that I really need is to be honest and open with my current hairdresser who's like sort of family because we've been together for so long. It's like a true breakup. Anyway, so as I am making an appointment with my friend's niece, my friend also posts on Facebook a series of our friendship, a series of pictures that have come up in her memories throughout the years of her and my friendship. And I start looking at those pictures and I'm like, oh my God, look at my hair. That's what I want. That's what I miss. That's what I need. And so I contact her niece, the new hairdresser, and I say, go to your aunt's Facebook page and look at the picture she's posted of me. That's what I want to go back to. And then I contact, in the thread, my text thread of contacting my old hairdresser and saying, I am, going to cancel my appointment with you next month. And I'll reschedule later, but not right now. And then she replies back, did you see those pictures that Francine posted of you? Your hair is gorgeous. I am so proud to know that I gave you that hair. So, and in the meantime, my friend Francine is also trying to schedule happy hour with me. So it's sort of like my old hairdresser is, as I am breaking that tether, breaking that attachment with her, she is like somehow aware of it and is like, hell no, I'm not letting you go. Look at those pictures, the ones that I am using for this other hairdresser to get an idea of what I want. My old hairdresser is saying, wait a minute, I'm the one that gave you that hair. I'm the one that, that made you look that way. Even though she doesn't know that I'm leaving her yet. And I'm just like, how is this happening? It just, that interweaving, that connection, those attachments, people are more and more intuitive and more awake as they're all climbing the ladder of ascension, as our own world is climbing the ladder of ascension. Things are, you just can't hide like you used to. I can't hide. Oh, I can't go like behind the scenes and be sneaky. The universe is requiring me to be forthright and honest. And so anyway, I just think that is so funny. I made an appointment to go get a facial. I am tired of trying to fit into clothes that don't fit anymore. It's like I just have to admit defeat that my body has changed its shape because of menopause, and I now just need to find a different way to dress instead of trying to squeeze into these clothes that don't fit anymore. So I'm owning it. I'm owning the new me. I'm taking charge of my hair, taking charge of my skin, just ready to look, feel better. Anyway, that's my check-in. It's all a little bit shallow and a lot filled with vanity, but anyway.
I love it. It's like it gives me permission to do that. No, I mean, I just turned 75 and boy, I mean, have I seen the change over the last 10 years or even the last 5 years? I look at pictures from 5 years ago and I go, oh my gosh, I'm looking like my mother. And my hair, I mean, my hair's always been my prize, but my hair, I can't do anything with it anymore. It's so thin. It keeps getting thinner and breaking off. And I can't seem to I dye my own, color my own because of my chemical sensitivities. I use a plant-based. I stopped going to a beauty salon a few years ago saying this is not healthy for me. And it seems like every time I color it, it comes out a little different color. And even though I'm using the same thing and the same color. And so I have this love-hate relationship with my hair. And the last time I had a haircut a couple months ago, she cut it. It was a new person because my old salon closed down. I just came for my appointment and the door was locked and it was closed. I mean, no forewarning. And so she cut it way too short and I was so frustrated. And so I even rescheduled my appointment because I thought I'm not ready to get a haircut yet. Anyway, so I can definitely relate to you, and it's
It
hard.
just matters.
It does, and it's hard, and it's kind of what Sue and I were talking about, and what I've been working on is, trying to. I know that the spiritual journey, and if you know whether we say our journey to enlightenment or to ascension, whatever, that it's all about becoming less attached to our body. It's moving out of body identity into spirit identity. But it seems like at the same time that I feel like I'm doing that, I'm rising up the ladder, as you said, the body attachment's screaming even more. The body attachment is trying to draw me back in, which is the ego again. So that very, very much fits. But that's where I've been in the last, I don't know, weeks, months, whatever, is that really, really, what's the word I want to use? I guess the phrase I use a lot and use it in meditation is, I am as God created me. And that just seems to resonate with me. And I say it sometimes, many times during the day. I am as God created me, to remind me that I am spirit. I come from God, my connection with God. And it's as I get closer, or the moments when I can get to that place where I really see that or realize that, and that's when I'm really connected to God. I've gone back to the source, which is pure love. And then I know who I am in that moment. I know that who I am and why I'm here. And I don't have to ask, who am I anymore? What is it? And what is it I'm supposed to do in this lifetime? What is this? And the answer, if I go back to source, is simple. You're here to give love. You're here to, be a channel of God's love. It's nothing more than that. Now that, branches out into a lot of things and ways, but, and then I realized everybody else is doing the same thing. We're all here for the same reason. It's just some of us are really working on it, like 3 of us. Some of us are ignoring it totally, completely in this lifetime, and they're going to have to come back many lifetimes. I want to figure it out in this lifetime. I want to get to enlightenment. I want to, as you say, ascend to source. And so I don't have to come back and do it again. In fact, the thing that dawned on me, I think this week, was that, the reason I'm here is that I didn't actualize and I didn't figure it out completely last time. So I had to come back, of course, but I'm coming back at a higher level. That's what I think. And what was I thinking? I guess the other thing is, like, you're noticing your body changing. I, for the first time in the last, I think, month, and looking back and realizing that I am different. I am different, which is a sign that I am getting closer. The things, I'm just different in the way that things attract me. I used to always be grabbing these videos, like the Bob Proctor videos or whatever, the ones that, not that I followed him, but I'm trying to think of the other name of the person, but, things that, how to improve myself, how to succeed, how to do this and that. And I'm not that, I delete those now, because I realize that's not my work. That may have been my work when I was 30 or something. It's not my work anymore. My work now at this time of my life is really to stay in the spiritual realm, to really work on my spirit. Not be working at getting more money, although I could use more money, but not trying to manifest that. And that's a real change. Like, I'm not wasting my time listening to those kinds of things. So I don't know where I am on your ladder, but I know that I'm higher than I was before.
It's
I
not my ladder, it's your ladder. We each come with our
Right.
own.
You're
So, and it's not a hierarchy. It's like wherever we are on our own process is where we end up, and we'll never be able to see where someone else is. I mean, we can guess, but
Yeah, I'd never used the image of a ladder before, but I like that because that gives me a better visual of what I'm sensing myself happening. So that gives me more of a visual. So I just know that I'm higher than I was. I am higher on, I'm more in the realm of love and compassion, the 500 and above than I was before. And so I'm going to take that as a victory and hope that my hair will come along. I just, I don't know if all women are that way or what, but my hair, yeah, has always been, not that I have the long hair, lovely hair that you have, but it always has framed my face in a nice way. I look back at pictures and now I'm going, yuck. So, that's me.
yeah, in the ladder of ascension, in my analogy of the ladder, we can't ever go back down. We can only go up. And as we go up, the tether gets shorter and shorter, the thread that attaches us to all that is. But that's why we swing, because we can swing into our regression, into our past, and hang out there for a while because it's comfortable. But that's where the humanness is and the ego is. And the other side is the high of the spiritual gifts and the insight and the, a view of what, totally different view. But of course, where we want to be is steady on our own ladder, steady and grounded and in alignment, and then be able to progress up that ladder and transcend.
And it's only in relationship that we can see, like Sue's sharing in her relationship with her granddaughter, and that Sue can see how she's changed. It's what I hate. I mean, last night again, I went, oh shit, I blew it again, in my relationship with my husband. I mean, I love him dearly and we have a great relationship, but I could see where I was just not being very loving in his needs, last night. And I went, geez, here I'm working so hard and think I'm doing so good, and I just, screw it up. So I'm seeing more quickly when I, as you would say, swing to the other side. I'm seeing more quickly than I used to. I think in the past, I wouldn't even realize it. And I thought, oh, that wasn't very loving. I mean, I wasn't nasty or anything. It's just what my behavior wasn't very loving. If I truly believe that, my purpose here, my function here is to spread God's love, to be a channel of that, and love
that has to include your husband. Yeah, those that are closest to you.
Exactly. And he's going to be the one that's going to reflect it back to me more than anyone, because he's the one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it's a journey.
So you guys have heard unceasing prayer, the term unceasing prayer, right?
No.
Prayer without ceasing is the way I've always heard it. So it'd be the same.
There's a story or a book or an author, and he eventually got to a place where he was practicing unceasing prayer. And for me, with Chloe, what I figured out was unceasing prayer, because I've been trying to think of, well, what prayer do I want to say all day? There isn't any prayer I want to say all day. So I mix them up and I forget, and nothing sticks. But looking back, what I realized with Chloe was minute by minute, I was going inside for guidance. I paused. So the whole time shopping and at lunch. So first time we went shopping and we went to lunch, you know how they have the little computer at every table? So and they automatically set up games. So if she pushes the button, the games start and you just automatically get charged. So we've gone through a few experiences of my learning how this little computer works because I don't like it. They either come to my table or I'm going home. Anyway, a man comes up and says, did you order 3 lemonades? And I go, no, just 1. Okay, I'll fix it. And then pretty soon the waiter comes back and says, did you order 2 dinners? No, I only ordered 1. He said, okay, I caught it before the cook started, so I'll fix it. And I looked at Chloe and she said, I'll move it. And she moved it. And this time when we went to lunch, I moved it out of the way. And I said, well, neither one of us are going to use it. And that was all that was said. Actually, I didn't even say that. I just moved it. And she looked at me and I looked at her and we both smiled. So, and then when it came to pay the bill, I moved it back and I said, okay, figure it out for me. And she figures it all out. And she said, do you want me to run your card? Sure, run my card. So anyway, minute by minute for me is asking. And what happens is I don't necessarily get the words come through me. I don't necessarily ask to be in compassion or forgiving or loving. It comes through me. And to me, that is unceasing prayer all day long. So I was trying to think of what the words was I had thought of, because I was talking to somebody on a text and I said, oh, unceasing prayer is constant asking what is right words or right action now. And it isn't even a thought anymore. It's just going inside, because I did that at work and I wanted to do it in my personal life and I couldn't figure out how to do it in my personal life. And so I would pause. That's my part. I pause. And then I go inside and I listen. And, you know, you've heard the statement that God knows before you even form your question. So I just go inside, and what I'm actually asking for is what is the right words or what is the right action right now? But it's coming to me without even putting it into words. The intention's there. So unceasing prayer to me is asking what is the right word, what is the right action in the moment, because my true power is in the decisions I make in the moment. So I've been sitting with that. Now, the challenge is I'm okay with Chloe, but my daughter's husband's daughter lives here. And she hates doing dishes. So she leaves them. There's a pan that's been outside for a year because she put oatmeal in it and walked away. So my daughter put it outside and it's still outside. And it's been a year. Okay. So when she comes and goes, when she's here and she leaves her dishes, I leave her dishes. And my daughter leaves her dishes. So her dad has to do the dishes, hit her dishes and whatever. And we just leave them. So I'm already angry. And so it's like, I can figure it out for one person and then I have to start all over again to apply it to the next person. And there's also the universal law that the people around us reflect back something that is being ignored or has not been realized. So last night I was asking, what am I avoiding? What am I avoiding? What is it I don't like to do? And I don't know yet. I don't know what it is yet. So I have to keep working on it, because each person is a whole different challenge. It's a combination of everything, and yet it's still going inside and asking, what's the right word? What's the right action? So that's where I am. Okay. Want to add anything, or do you want to go into silence and try and reframe our minds?
I'm curious. You know, it keeps presenting itself, right? And because it might be at the same time that you have chosen to behave differently with your granddaughter, is it your granddaughter? That I sort of feel like there's this resistance that happens when we are in judgment of someone else or their behavior, and that amplifies their habit even more. It, not only for us, but in a way they feel that judgment and they're like, well, screw you, look, and I'm gonna actually do more of it. So, you know, we could, maybe the lesson is in the ability to actually confront them on this, but that could also backfire on you, right? Like, who are you? You're a guest in this house. This is, you know, what does it matter? So I've often wondered about situations like that, where if their resistance and the amplification of their behavior, which I am judging, but in silence, that the only person who can recover from this, you know, is me. I can't control them, right? I mean, you already know all this. But what if you took that same process you did with your granddaughter and experimented with the dirty dishes? I mean, I guess the thing that you do is you take care of your own dishes and role model while you leave the other dirty dishes out. You know, you do it with love, and you do it with light, and you love washing the dishes, your own, and putting them away or putting them in the dishwasher and leaving the other ones out, but, you know, sprinkling your fairy dust everywhere. I don't know. And trying, here's my example. I walk my dog all the time. And when I walk, I pick up trash. And every time I pick up trash, I get angry at the person that just thought it was okay to leave this, to drop it, to, you know, why would this remotely be okay? Or the neighbors whose trash is in front of their house, why aren't you picking up the trash that's in front of your house? You have to see it every time you come home or leave. Judge, judge, judge. And I read once, you aren't doing any favors by judging. You are just adding to the negativity that even caused the trash being thrown. So I catch myself on the judgment and I pick it up anyway, because it's there for me to see, for me to clean up. And then I am shifting the work as to doing the work for Archangel Ariel, who is the environmental angel, you know, so I'm trying to do her work in the human form by picking up the trash so her environment is clean. And I go, Ariel, I'm doing this for you. Ariel, I'm doing this for you, you know, and we kind of have that fun little bantering. Point being is I have to catch myself from not adding to the hostility in my judgment of what other people are doing that I don't approve of, and instead just make it my role, make it my job to pick up the trash. I don't know, though, if I were in your shoes, I would be willing to do the other people's dishes, but I'm just curious. I'm curious if the same thing you did with your granddaughter could also be done with the dishes. the steady prayer of what do I do now? 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 That's what I'm with my clients. When my clients are sharing with me, I just am quiet and I'm like, how can I best serve them? Okay. I just have a prayer. Help me, help them, help me, help them, help me, help them, help, and until I know. So
Yeah. It's different. And it just feels like a harder challenge because my granddaughter I love and the intention was strong. I was going to change. And I know I have to change in this one too.
so hard.
I know. And it is judgment. It's not what I'm avoiding. It's the judgment. And the judgment adds to it. And the judgment creates a resistance on the other side. And the more I judge and the more into the judgment I get, the more the resistance is. And so this could be an outright war. Mm-hmm. And I can't go there. That's ridiculous. I mean, grow up.
Both, everybody.
Okay, well, my pattern is when my daughter went leave to go to work, I'll go up to the house and I will do all the dishes. Because if they leave at 6 a.m, I don't want them to come home to it. So if they run the dishwasher, I unload it later. So they come home to a clean kitchen and then they cook dinner. And that's a trade to me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so my daughter said, you don't have to do these things. And I said, well, it's a trade. So I'm happy to do these things. Okay, so now if he's home and the daughter's home, I think what I need to do is say to him, since you and Shauna are both home, I don't need to be in the kitchen. So I'm not in the kitchen. So I'm not cleaning up the same as I do when you and Monica go off to work. And establish a ground rule that if you and Shauna are here, then I'm just leaving the kitchen. I have my own. And I think I'm going to do something like that and see what happens. But I'm just going to keep asking, what is the right words? What is the right action right now? And go from there. Yeah.
And then whenever I have said those prayers, which I'm so grateful to be reminded of, Sue, thank you, it's sort of like the universe provides the opportunity for you to actually put that prayer answer into action. The opportunity presents itself. But I'm also a firm believer that actions speak louder than words, and to not do their dishes because you have your own kitchen in your trailer and you can, you don't need to do their dishes, they're home, and then let the wife come home from work and see the mess and let it be her issue, not yours, to have the conversation about. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, you can try it both ways, but not if it's not your house. I mean, are they expecting you to do it? Probably not. But anyway, I don't know. I would have huge issue being you right now. This is my thing. I am so relating, and I don't have an answer. So you have got to keep us posted, because I will need to learn from your results.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah.
Doing saga. Okay. We have had a wonderful chat. And it's been very helpful. So let's go into silence and go to your sacred space. And your sacred space, connect to your hearts. Connect to each other's hearts. Let's connect above. And that which is above is also all around us. God's source consciousness, the highest consciousness beyond our imagination, is always available. And bring that energy into our hearts. Breathe out any confusion, frustration, any anger, any worries. Just breathe it out. Breathe God in. Breathe everything out that stands in your way of being one with your higher self, one with God's source consciousness. Breathe in spirit very slowly through the nose. Breathe out any worry out the mouth. And then when you're ready, feel your feet firmly supported by Earth Mother, the manifestation of life energy. Completely supported, created, maintained, and sustained by Source. And then the planet, Earth Mother, provides everything we need. So I'm going to call in the 4 elements of matter: earth, air, fire, and water, to create balance and harmony all around us in our environment. And the 4 physical kingdoms: the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the mineral kingdom, and the human kingdom, with an intention that we all work together in consciousness. We meet in consciousness with the 4 elements of earth, of Gaia. We are in balance. We are in harmony. We are at peace. And we claim this as our reality for our inner world and our outer world. That divine order is in control and managing my emotions, our emotions, our mental thoughts, our physical health, our spiritual well-being, and the perfection of our energetic bodies. We are multidimensional right now in the here and now, with the kingdoms, with the elements, with source consciousness, and in this state of being open and receiving, we will spend the next 10 minutes in silence, receiving, feeling, imagining what your higher self has for you at this time for your highest good. And then I'll call us back. Okay, that worked. Neutral is in between being human and being godlike. So chaos or peace. And it's a choice. So I choose, and what I felt was, I choose joy, compassion, understanding. And that choice changes everything. It changes the consciousness of me and the other person. So the problem disintegrates. There's no need to forgive. There's no need to solve anything. There is no longer a problem. I haven't seen it that clearly before. I've seen it that clearly before. I've never felt it so real before. Because you know how I said, pick a quality, joy, compassion, understanding, any of them, and focus on it. But it never was this clear before.
I so understand that. I so relate. I so believe that, I think that because I have the ladder of ascension in my forethought right now, it is neutral. You're right in between the two extremes, right? And so you are neutral. But what feels good is more joy. What feels good is, to kind of hang out when the pendulum is swinging closer to the side of spirit. But yet I believe that in this space of neutrality is, we don't swing anymore, but what we do is we ascend one step higher. And so by you focusing on joy or focusing on the light or choosing, because the choice is yours, you are choosing to take another step up your ladder and to a higher frequency way of being. And you might swing a little bit when that happens, because you might go, all right, I choose joy and I'm going to take a step up, but the frequency of joy is just a little bit anxious. It feels a little bit like anxiety. So it's like, whoa, what's happening? And we might swing a little bit because you don't want to be anxious. You want to be joyful. For me, this is my own experience. And, and so it's like, okay, but yet you can just hold on. You can hold on and make joy your reality. That place from neutralness to a place of joy without the swing, right? Without the swing. You ascending as a human to represent joy in your life, to choose joy. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is extraordinary. And I know from my own experience, if I try my best not to judge, everything just takes care of itself. It does. And so I have a beloved aunt, an aunt that I love so much. And she's always been my mentor. She's always, always, always been my mentor. She introduced me to what it meant, what spirituality was. But now I'm on my own journey and I don't need her as a teacher or a mentor anymore, but she's still my aunt and I love her and she's a big part of my life. But that separation has been really hard on her. And so she continually has to sit me down and have these conversations with me of, you're getting too big for your britches, who do you think you are? Kind of trying to put me back into a place where she is the one with more knowledge than me. That's what it feels like. And I don't even think she knows that's what she's doing, but I think she feels a responsibility to a role that she has established in her life, which she doesn't want to lose. And so she's, almost tries to think of things to have these intense conversations. What I receive from it isn't wisdom anymore. What I receive from it is judgment. And so in her attempt to control me or adjust me, I am seeing more and more her flaws and her own insecurities, because I'm not going to change my growth for her. I'm not going to dim my light so she feels better about herself. I'm not going to stop my forward momentum of the work I'm doing in the world, in fear that she feels bypassed. So I can still love her and be great, but I don't like this feeling of judgment coming from her and this need for her to put me in my place or to have that sit down and have a conversation, because in her mind, it's enabling. If she allows me to be a certain way, she's enabling me, and she doesn't want to be an enabler. So her journey in this life is to not enable others by sitting them down and talking to them, but it's about her perspective of them, right? So I am, realizing that she will be who she is, and she needs to do what makes her feel better. And then the choice is mine in those moments when she's putting me in my place, to either believe what she says, own what she says, or do a quick evaluation of, what's right and wrong, and what am I willing to do about it, which is usually now I let her say her piece, I thank her for her piece, and then I go about my own business instead of putting her back into her place. She puts me in my place, I could turn around and put her back in her place, but I decide she's entitled to her opinion. Does it affect me? No, it doesn't feel good, but it's not really going to alter my trajectory. So I can allow her to be her and do what she needs to do so she feels better while I continue to move forward, anyway. I don't know,
that's a common problem. That's a common problem. So I have a sister who knows more than me. And when she's not in the listening mood and she's in the talking mood, I'm going to get cut off and talked over. So I stop and I observe. I used to judge and get angry and resent and resist. And I didn't care what she said. I wasn't going to do it. So this time, which was just day before yesterday, I just listened and inside asked, so is there something here for me to know?
Yeah, brilliant.
And she said, just look up this author. She's told me about this author before. Just look up this author, look at her book. And this book is amazing. And I looked up the author and I looked up the book, and she's got a new book out, and I ordered it and I started reading, and it's amazing.
And so by your lack of resistance, you were able to actually be given a gift. That's incredible.
So something's going on, and it's moving me from being human, which is resistant, rebelling, closing the mind and judging. And that's human. That is human,
Mm-hmm.
to being an observer, neutral, an observer. Go to neutral. I'm going to be an observer. And as an observer, I automatically don't judge. I just listen to what she's saying and seeing if there's something of interest to me. Because I believe from a neutral point of being an observer, listening for something that's useful to me, Spirit's going to go through her and give me something useful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she'll drop a lot of the crap.
Mm-hmm. Well, if she's so used to, she or people like her, like my aunt, that are so used to, I mean, they can judge when the other person has shut down or put up a block, or eyes have glazed over, or they become resistance or protective or whatever. And, so they talk a little louder. There's a little bit more energetic forcefulness. There's, they're waiting for it. But if we're in neutral, what I hear you saying is we're neutral and we're observing and not absorbing anything, but, you know, having that consistent prayer go out of, you know, let me hear what there is, you know, what do I need to own and what can I release? What can go through me and what should I hold on to? And, you know, and then they can calm down because they're no longer afraid that they're going to be rejected by us, right? You know, and so they can calm down. And I mean, even with my crazy ass hairdresser, you know, I go in, I always pink up before I go in. And when I'm there, I think pink, so I can change the dynamics of the room because she's a little bit bipolar sometimes. I mean, she could be manic or she could be really, you know, and it's like a roller coaster ride emotionally, energetically, whenever I'm with her. And, but I realize that when I'm open and I'm not judging or I'm not putting a protective shield up, but instead it's pink, which is self-worth, self-love for herself, for me, I will always receive a profound gift from spirit through her. Something
Yeah.
you know, and she's not aware that she's just said it. She's totally unaware. And there it is. And I'm like, there it is. There it is. That is my gift for being in this place of neutrality. There it is. There's my gift. And it's usually so profound and so beautiful. And in the moment, I'm always like, thank you. Thank you. You know, and so I get that. Yeah. That's amazing, Sue. That's amazing.
I can't wait to see your new haircut. So whether it's the old hairdresser who knows that's what you need and knows how to do it, or you go to the new hairdresser, it took all of this for you to break the pattern.
Yep. I think I feel like I'm going to keep I mean, I know that what I could do is I could go to my old hairdresser and I could say, all of those pictures of me that you loved throughout the years, you did give me that hair. I'm fully aware of it. I want that again. Can you get me there? And she'll know how to do it because she keeps notes of everything throughout the years. And that would be the easiest transition. But I also know that I need to try something new and I might hate it. And it's only hair, right? I might hate this other person. I might not work well with her and I can always go back. Yeah, so I'm not going to quite break up yet. So I have that option to go back. I've got, you know, the rest of, you know, my appointment was the second week in August with my old hairdresser. So I will have gone 2 months without seeing her, you know, and I can go and ask for forgiveness, you know, for having tried something different. But yeah, either way.
No, don't ask for forgiveness for being, no, don't do that.
I won't do that. Thank you.
No, she understands. It's time for a change. If you don't break it, you become a victim.
Yeah.
Okay. Have to break the old patterns that feel safe. And because there's always something new and we need to go into the new. And then from there, decide to tweak it how we want it. But we have to keep breaking the old patterns. So awesome.
Thank you for that reminder. That is very wise of you. And I'm very grateful you brought that up because you're right. On so many things you just said, but the most important one is you're right. I have been a victim and I've allowed, you know, this inappropriate behavior. And now I'm breaking away. I'm trying something new. And if I love it, then I'll break up. You know, I sort of feel like I'm having an affair and I feel guilty about that. And I would hope that, you know, people say, if you ever want to have an affair, come to me first and let me know and let's work on it before you have your affair, you know, before you destroy everything. But yet this is a business and I need to seek, you know, as a client, something else out. And then I have and still keep my options open. And And it's not as harmful as an affair would be, but it feels like it. It feels like a breakup, and I'm not very good at this sort of thing. But you're so right. We can't remain in old patterns that no longer serve us. It's ridiculous. To break away, try something new is our prerogative.
It's the only way we stop being a victim.
Yeah.
Because you can be friends with your hairdresser and have a new hairdresser.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And how she responds, not reacts, how she responds to that will be in part how you don't make it personal. The change is not personal to her. It's personal to you. It's not personal to you. It's your spiritual growth. You have to change old patterns, right or wrong.
Yeah. Oh, this was wonderful. Very worthwhile. And your hair is adorable, pinned back like that on one side and framing your face beautifully on the other.
That side just won't behave. So are you getting your hair cut next week? No,
Yeah, my appointment is the 9th. So I have a week and a half.
a week and a half, yeah. And your
Yeah.
birthday's great. Well, happy birthday if I don't see you.
Yeah, my birthday's the 7th. Anyway,
Well-
so yeah, I'm just so, I mean, it's going to cost me a fortune. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine.
Yes, it is. It's an investment into your spiritual growth and your well-being.
Yeah.
And you could spend $1,200 on a program, or you could spend less money on a haircut and get the same spiritual growth.
Damn straight. This is a retreat. I'm going through my own, I'm putting together, this is beautiful. Sue. You're so right. I could easily spend $1,200 and do a whole freaking, yeah, process, or I can, the universe is giving me my own process to do all around my hair, and I'm owning it, and I'm taking charge. And I mean, literally, I woke up one day after it kept me up. And I said, just make an appointment with someone else. Oh my God, why is this keeping you up? Just make an appointment with someone else. This is crazy making. And it was like, that was so easy to do. And I reached out and I gave her pictures, and she's like, I think I can do that. And I'm like, damn straight. Oh my God. For months now. Why didn't I do this months ago? I am so excited. And I have not been excited about my hair and the potential for so long. You're right. And it'll just cost me, maybe what, a couple hundred, I don't know, versus 1,200. Yeah.
Exactly.
Perfect. Oh, you're extraordinary, Sue. You are a gift to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you for all your wisdom today and being here. I just love it.
I do too. I love this circle of healing. I love it. I come away with something, and every time. Have a glorious day, my friend.
I will. And to you. Take care. Love you.
Love you too, Sue. Bye.
Bye.